What's up, YouTube? Wholesaling. Um, I want to do wholesaling. I'm excited to do wholesaling, and I really don't know which way my camera is supposed to be facing right now. I'm excited to do wholesaling. I want to do wholesaling. It's kind of sad, and I don't know if I should. I don't want to. People use the term depressing when they shouldn't use it, so I don't want to say the term depressing. But for lack of a more accurate way to say it, it's kind of depressing when you have like all these things you want to do, and you realize that you can do it. I always say this: you can do whatever you want. Like literally, truly, you can do whatever you want. One way of being very successful is by focusing on only doing one thing, but being the absolute best at that thing. And so, like, it kind of is depressing when you realize how many, the things that you're gonna have to give up, which you really don't want to give up, but it's a catch 22, as my mother would always say, because like I want to lift so badly. It's part of my life, part of my soul. Um, if I give up lifting, it's gonna, well, I'm just gonna say, like, I don't want to give up lifting, but if I want to be successful, one thing I've considered doing, and I'm seriously considering doing this, is just only focusing on wholesaling. Um, for that matter, I would also give up comedy, and I could keep the vlogs, but I would probably give up comedy, and that's kind of sad too. Like I wanted to do Phenomenal Bananas. I wanted to go do comedy on the street, what I call street comedy, or comedy on the street, going up to people. And you've seen videos before like this where people get asked things, or there's skits, or there's bits, or things like that. At the end of the day, I have this theory, which I don't think I'm the first one to have thought it, but I don't know who has thought of this first specifically to give them credit. I mean, I could claim it if I want to. Again, I don't think I'm the first one, or maybe I am the first one to think of this. Although I will say Graham Stephan referenced this a long time ago when he talked about delayed gratification, and I'm not talking about it in context of in reference to delayed gratification. I'm talking about it in reference to choosing what you're gonna do and disciplining yourself to cut out the other things that you also want to do, but in the name of being the best at one thing, you cut out all the other things, and you focus on exclusively on one or a very few number of things. Dan Pena says the super successful focus on the few, not the many. So with that in mind, it's interesting to think that, and also Dan Pena says that balance is BS. There's no such thing as balance. There's no such thing as work-life balance. There's only work-life choices. Which is a lot more profound than you may think it is, depending on who was listening to this and how you think about it. If you just let that sink in, there's no such thing as work-life balance, as work-life choices. I'm gonna open the window. This smells like cleaning agents. Oh, the window has been open. That's not good. I wonder how that smell got in my room. It smells very strongly of spick and span cleaning agent, which I used to clean my bathroom today, but I didn't put that much spick and span that I remember. It's weird. Anyways, this theory that and I'm talking about it in reference to cutting out all the other things you want to do and exclusively dedicating yourself to one or a very few number of things that you want to be super successful in. You have the same amount of dopamine no matter what. So your dopamine's not going to change because you have the same amount of dopamine no matter what. What's going to change is your money and your opportunities, which those two things are tied together. If you become super successful in an area which allows you to have a vast amount of money, that money will afford you opportunity. And if you really do the math, by virtue of you having an increased opportunity, in as much as you can buy back time and things like that, you can actually do the things that you at one point deemed that you had to cut out. But if you try to do everything, or forget about saying the word try, if you do in fact do everything, you will not be super successful in any one thing. You will be very good at most of those things. Um, and you could end up being super successful in something that doesn't give you money, or it may give you money. Or you could just be sort of, hate to say it, but you could just be mediocre in most of those things. And being mediocre is not going to help you at all. It's not going to get you anywhere. You can do whatever you want, but I say this and I believe it's true. You have to just dedicate yourself to one thing or several, very few things. I wouldn't even say several, one thing or very few things to be successful at it. I'm sure when people were making the first Toy Story movie, the first digitally animated movie, I'm sure they weren't doing much of anything else in their life at the time. I'm sure they were very, very exclusively dedicating themselves. And I think it took 2 or 3 years to make that movie, by the way. I think it took 2 or 3 years to make Toy Story because no one had ever made a movie like that ever before. Halford Johnson, one of the strongest men in the world, he lifts every day, and I'm sure he loves different things. I'm sure he loves music. I'm sure he loves, you name it. A lot of people have different hobbies. A lot of people have different, but I bet you all he does almost exclusively is just lift all day, and his energy and time goes into his meals, prepping the meals, making the meals, cooking the meals, eating the meals. Um, I want to get into wholesaling. I'm not a stupid person. I'm a very, very sharp person. I'm the type of person that I really need to focus on something exclusively for me to get anywhere with it. And I need to focus on it, truly, truly focus, and basically be obsessed with something to get good at something. Once I'm good at something, I'm ridiculously good. I would almost say I'm scary good, but I don't think I'm unique in that. I think there's a lot of people that can be very, very, as it were, scary good. And I think that most people that never find that within themselves, um, I think for some people they don't have it, and for other people that don't find it in themselves, it's not that they don't have it. It's just that they've never, focused in on something to the point of obsession. And if they would have done that, they would have found that they had the capability to be super successful. In as much as you can super obsess over something, you can become super successful in something. In as much as you as your super obsession translates into or results in a super success. There's a lot of things going through my mind right now, a lot of memories. Sometimes my mind is just, it's amazing to me how many different memories, I could say memory, but that can't convey the feelings that come with those memories. And a feeling I had just earlier tonight was, I remember when I was, I don't remember if it was when I was 17, but when I was a younger person, the surety that I had in my soul that I would be successful, despite doubts that were in many ways much stronger and much darker than I have today. The doubts I had when I was younger were in many ways much stronger and darker than the doubts I have today. But yet the surety that I would be successful was, and I hate to say it, intellectually it wasn't as solidified, but from a unexplainable, in a way that escapes the description of words, or supersedes the description of words, or is beyond the description of words. I had, from a spiritual standpoint, a much a much surer, brighter light burning, shining within me that I knew I'd be successful. And again, I know I'm going to be successful now from an intellectual standpoint. I know a lot more. I have a better discipline. I have better people skills. I have better life experience skills. You name it. But and I do believe in my soul I will be. But the fire that burned when I was a youngster, that I'd be successful. It's funny. I had all the fire in the world but no discipline. Now I have tons of discipline, but the fire seems to be only a shadow of what I remember it being when I was 21. I could almost feel it now. Just the I don't know if you call it the gumption or the gusto, but I knew I'd be successful when I was young. Now, again, some people might say, well, Elias, you should only do vlogs when you're in an upbeat mood, when you're confident and happy and the light's good, and you shouldn't be doing vlogs lying down. Well, let me tell you something. If every vlog was like a perfect world scenario, it wouldn't actually be a vlog. That being said, one day maybe everything in my life, maybe one day every minute of my life will look like a perfect world scenario, although I don't think that's possible for anyone's life. You even look at the Kardashians, their life's not always perfect. They have squabbles, they have disagreements, they have ups and downs, happies and sads. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. I think they're amazing, wonderful people. I also think that they probably did a pact with the devil, but that's another story for another day. And that may or may not be true. I believe it's true, but it may or may not be true. And by the way, you don't have to do any formal pact with the devil to make a pact with the devil. Just like you don't have to go to church to worship God. Although I will say that the being formal about your worshiping, let's say in the case of worshiping God, although it really applies in all cases, that does exist. That does a real thing to be formal, and I think it's probably more powerful when you're formal about it. Um, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I'm really grateful for YouTube. I don't think anyone watches these vlogs at the moment, but that's okay with me. Sometimes I feel like I'm just doing like a video log, and that's also okay with me, to do a video log of my life. Last thing I want to end with on this vlog video today. Santa Monica is one of the most beautiful cities in the entire world. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect place. A lot of places in the United States as a whole have been very uh not very kept properly because of, rampant homelessness and drug abuse and those things. But even with all those challenges, Santa Monica is one of the most beautiful and impressive cities in the entire world. There's probably more wealthy people in Santa Monica than in many, many, many places throughout the world. Except perhaps like if you're talking about Dubai, of course then Dubai probably takes the cake a lot of the time for concentration of wealth. But Santa Monica I've been saying it and I mean it. It's absolutely amazingly it's a gem of all gems. There's this woman. She had a British accent. She had a 3-story home. She had such an incredibly large home. It was almost startling, and yet it wasn't like it was a very old fashioned build. I think it was like an old fashioned. I don't think her building is frankly up to code whatsoever. The point is, to me, it seemed like she has money, if for no other reason than her home's incredibly large, and her home gives away that she had money at one point in her life. And just by definition, just by virtue of her home being as big as it is and where it is, location wise, where it is, in Santa Monica, in like, right there, south of Montana, but north of Pico, just an absolute beautiful home, east of Lincoln, west of Bundy, like absolute beautiful home. English lady, older lady, must have been at least 80, could have been, 82, anywhere from 82, 84, 86, 88. I don't know how old she was, but she couldn't have been younger than 65, that's for sure. And she might have been either approaching 80. She might not have been 80. Who knows? She was old. White hair on her head, gray hair on her head. And I don't know how the conversation got started because I remember I literally specifically I did not start the conversation whatsoever. And I guess she asked her how we got paid. And I said, oh, we get paid okay. Not the best, not the worst. I think I might have even told her that I got paid 20 an hour. And she says, oh, well, that's nice. And I said, yeah, it's all right, but we only get about 34 hours a week. We never really get 40 hours a week unless we, basically do things here or there to kind of add up a couple hours of, a couple extra hours. But even then, it only adds up to 38, 39. We never really get past, we never get overtime. Even when we milk the clock a little bit, we're still at best, we're just at 40 hours. And she said, well, wouldn't it be nice to have your own outfit? Then you could make the money. And basically, this is using more words than I anticipated using in many ways. But she basically said, this lady, that I should have my own roofing outfit. Of course, it's a very old-fashioned way of saying it, to use the word outfit and stuff, talking about a company or a group. But I just remember looking at her beautiful, old, but ever youthful blue eyes. Like kind blue water, just wonderfully lovely, kind blue eyes. And basically feeling from her soul the genuine goodwill that I deserve to make the big bucks just as much, and maybe even more than anyone else does. That even though she doesn't know my boss, she didn't know my boss personally, that she doesn't see any reason why I shouldn't be making the same money that he makes, and I will always remember that lady. I don't remember her name, but I will always remember that lady and her kindness and her she wasn't making this up. She wasn't like trying to get a blowjob out of me. She wasn't trying to get a discount. By the way, that makes no sense because if she was trying to get a discount, she would be flattering the owners of the company, not a worker. I have no control over the pricing, and she knows that. There's no selfish motivation she could have possibly had, even if you scout for one and try to find one. There's no connection to what she was telling me and getting any benefit for herself. It was a pure, genuine goodwill that she had, that she, suggests if I want to make money, I need to have my own company. And I did end up making my own roofing company. And that's why I got fired. A large part of why I got fired is because I had my own roofing company. It competed for the jobs of my boss's roofing jobs. Although I don't really think it would have really competed because I don't think I really could have given him much of any competition in the beginning. Although eventually I could have given him some good competition. And to this day, I do have plans, which I may or may not carry out, to dominate the roofing market in the same area where my boss had his roofing business. Not out of hate, no, but out of principle that no man is better than any other man. And I may or may not go and do that, but I wouldn't feel bad doing that at all. I'd feel very good doing that, knowing that, again, I'm just as worthy, if not more worthy, than any other man is. And I don't like the fact that, whether this is right or wrong, I feel that a lot of times people try to stiff arm you out of doing business to compete with them. And it shouldn't be that way. It should literally just be every business competes on virtue and merit of the business's virtue and merits, not from trying to keep people out of the business through intimidation or through manipulation or through any other way of doing things. I've had so little money for so long. I've had no money all my life essentially. With very few exceptions, I've gotten a couple breaks. Um, I will say this: even if I don't go into roofing, which I somehow don't see how I wouldn't ever go into roofing, even if I, you know, don't go into roofing, the same principle applies of that beautiful lady who told me that the only way for me to really get money is to have my own outfit. And wholesaling is something where you are making your own money on your own. The money goes to you at the end of the day. It really smells like spick and span. I don't know how it smells like spick and span so strongly. Thanks for watching my vlog. If you made it this far, that's a fake dog in the video shot. I know, it's kind of weird. My grandma has a lot of weird decorations. Thanks for watching the vlog if you made it this far. Thank you for being interested in my life. I really hope everyone in the world who has a good heart is successful. There's success in love, there's success in health, there's a lot of different areas of life we can be successful in. There's a lot of different endeavors we can undertake. And I don't believe we could really be successful in all of them simultaneously. And maybe it's possible, but I believe this life doesn't really allow for that, and maybe it does and I'm unaware, but to my knowledge you have to pick what you're going to prioritize and then take satisfaction in getting those things done and run it up is the term, and make your success exponential, make your success quantum, make your success there should be no limit to your success, but you have a situation where you have limitless success by cutting out other things. You're not going to have limitless success in all areas of life or too many different endeavors simultaneously. I know I don't know you guys out there, but I just feel like I'm very grateful for you guys watching, and I wish you guys good things. And, be good human beings, because you'll feel better at the end of the day if you are a good human being. You'll go farther, you'll be happier, you'll sleep better at night. So please be good human beings. All right, guys, let's get it. We only have one life.